Okay. Yes.
Since you're going to, good luck.
Well, I did want to give you guys a little bit of background about who I am, where I came from, and kind of, since especially we have some new members that I haven't had a chance to have a one-on-one with, an opportunity just to let you know a little bit about me, and that way I can lead into kind of how I practice and my philosophy on chiropractic and how that's different or differentiates me from a lot of the people that are out there with chiropractic. I grew up in a small town in southwest Kansas, and actually I graduated with a class of 18. Whoa. So when people talk about small high school classes, I don't want to hear it. It's 18 small. There was only 5 girls, so slim pickings as far as that goes. We had to go elsewhere for sometimes to go get a date. But anyway, so it was a small town. So I grew up on a farm. We had about 100 head of cattle. It was a cow-calf operation, and my dad was the primary operator. And then we farmed about 2,500 acres. So pretty good size spread for that time. Now most of the farms out there are about 10,000 acre farms. They're big corporate farms, so they're being bought up by all these corporations and kind of being made into, so the small farmers kind of going by the wayside, unfortunately. My dad still farms, so he's still there doing it. We go back and try to help. I always go back for a week of harvest and help with that too as well during the summers. Wheat harvest for us is in the summers. Everybody says harvest and thinks fall, but for us it's in the summer. So I always go back and help with harvest. So it's always a fun opportunity for my kids to go back and see what hard work is, and then for me to appreciate air conditioning as I come back to work in the office. So that's always a good thing. Chiropractic. So why did I get into chiropractic? I went from that small town to Pittsburgh State University. It's not Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's Pittsburgh. I went to 2 different schools as far as my education, Pittsburgh State and then Cleveland Chiropractic, and they're both in Kansas. So it's kind of crazy if that's the case. But Pittsburgh State was a Division II school in southeast Kansas. Played football there 5 years. Had the opportunity to have fun and win a lot of games, and then graduated with pre-med biology and a couple minors in physics and chemistry. So at that point, I knew I wanted to be in the medical practice of some type, but I didn't know exactly what. So I applied to 3 different schools, DO school, NP school, and chiropractic school. Got accepted all 3. I was hoping that would make my decision for me, but it didn't. So it came down to an experience that I had when I was playing football in college. I actually had an ankle injury where I had a spiral fracture in my fibula. So they had to go in, they had to put a metal plate in there. So as I was rehabbing from that, my goal was to get back to playing the same level or same performance that I once did. And the process was really slow. I was trying to do a lot of muscle work, I was trying to do a lot of range of motion stuff, but I really couldn't get back to the point where I was cutting well and I was actually performing the way I wanted to. So I went back to the chiropractor that I had in high school, that I went to for a few sports injuries in high school. And he actually adjusted my ankle, did some muscle work with it, and I was cutting within a week and back to playing at a pretty high level that fall. So that kind of pushed me to the direction of chiropractic, and really made me passionate about working with those individuals that had extremity issues, but then also just helping them have a high quality of life so they can go out and perform at a high level in whatever they wanted to do, whether it be sports or whether it be life. And so that's kind of comes full circle back to my practice. My practice is a little bit different than a lot of the practices that are out there when it comes to chiropractic. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of the places like The Joint. Thrive has a few practices that are out there too as well. Chiropractic's great. So wherever you get it, it's going to be beneficial. But what I want from my patients is for them to actually take hold of their health and be responsible for it. So my job is to educate. My job is to show people how to have a high quality of life so they can perform at a daily level and not have to come and see me every week for a year. That's not the type of situation that we do. So we don't even have plans in our office. We don't do big kind of those high price plans that a lot of times you see people do. It's on a visit by visit basis. If you're responding well, then we try to taper you off as quick as we can. So it's all dependent upon the patient, and that's my philosophy on chiropractic, and that's how we kind of practice there. Now, what tools do we have at our office to help others? I do a lot of different techniques, and a lot of you guys are patients of mine, so you've seen some of those techniques. But everything from the cracking, as people call it, that everybody sometimes are apprehensive about. But we do activator technique. We do, which is a very non-invasive technique that's to use kind of a handheld tool, and it moves the bones back into place. We use SOT, which is actually a kind of a very soft technique, but we actually position the body in different positions, and we can adjust things back into place that way too as well. We do Thompson drop technique, which if you guys have been in the office and you've heard kind of the dropping table, you're like, what is going on in there? It kind of sounds like you're hitting a brick wall, but it's not. We're actually moving things back into place and use a table that drops out from underneath you. So a lot of different techniques that I have in my availability that I can actually move things back into proper alignment. And that's what chiropractic's about. When it comes to spinal alignment, we are kind of the experts as far as that goes. We get the bones back in a proper position, but also free up any restrictions so we can go do things as far as activity-wise without your body having to compensate for those restrictions. That's where one of the questions I get commonly asked, since we have two great professionals with Don and Scott in our group, we work really well together with both massage therapists, but also with PTs too as well. That's a very common misnomer when it comes to chiropractic, that we don't work well with our PT and PT doesn't work well with us. That is not the case at all. In fact, both Don and I share quite a few patients, and Scott and I share quite a few patients. And it's a great synergistic way to approach medicine as far as kind of doing whatever's best for the patient, putting ego to the side, and saying, hey, if you need to go see the PT, work on range of motion, work on strengthening, that's exactly what we're going to do. And that's what I'm passionate about, regardless of where that patient is at, is making sure they're in the right position to get well, but also to do what they want to do. And everybody in my mind is an athlete in some way, shape, or form, even though some people come up and go, I'm not an athlete, doc, I can't go out and go lift a ton of weight or go for big runs. But everybody needs to be and should be active in some way, shape, or form. So regardless of what you're doing, you are an athlete in some way, shape, or form. So that's what I want to actually kind of teach to my patients, is that, hey, let's get you back to doing whatever that activity is. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. That's kind of my practice. That's kind of the way I practice and the way I approach practice. Wanted to give some exciting news now, since I mentioned David. So we are getting another chiropractor on board. Yes. So I have talked about it for a long time, and I have interviewed a lot of different chiropractors, especially here in town, trying to find the right fit. We have a certain culture that we're really proud of at Northeast Chiropractic, as far as it being a family atmosphere, but also making sure it's a very non-pressure type of atmosphere too as well. But he is coming from Tennessee, so he will be moving here. They're going to be here at the beginning of the year, kind of restarting as far as that goes. He's had a very successful practice in Tennessee. He just wanted to move to Colorado. I've actually known him for almost 10 years. But he's coming here. He's going to be a part of our practice. So you guys I'll definitely bring him in and introduce him to you guys. You guys will be seeing him around as far as that goes, because he's going to be out doing a lot of different marketing things and just kind of talking about Northeast Chiropractic. But we're very excited to have him on board. Finally back to where we have 3 chiropractors again, which is what that office is designed for. If you guys haven't been in the office to check it out, come in and check it out. We're very proud of it. It's in a great location, and we've got now with 3 chiropractors, kind of a full office back to where we can actually accept a lot more new patients, which if you guys have new patients that you want to send our way, that'd be great. We do accept insurance. I wanted to kind of reiterate that too as well. We are out-of-network providers, so some insurances have that coverage and some insurances do not. But we check on that before you guys even come in, so you guys know exactly what you're getting into. Our cash prices as of right now are $42 for the first visit, and then $40 for each visit after that, if it comes down to cash prices. So that's a little bit about us. if you guys have any questions, I'm definitely very excited about kind of the future of Northeast Chiropractic as we continue to grow. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you.